Alright, Shalom. First and foremost, I want to give our praises to Yahweh Ba'ashem Yahushai, Ba'ashem Rakakodash. And I give double honors to the apostles of great men to not rule well. Salutations to the men of the hope land since elect. This is Marcus. I just want to do a quick edification for the elect's sake. Alright, so I have here a video, just going into a brief history on Esau. But before that, I just want to read one scripture. This is Obadiah chapter 1 verse 6. It says, how are the things of Esau searched out? How are his hidden things sought up? Alright. Now, some of the hidden things of Esau is what? His history. His origins. Alright. And he tried to hide his ancestry. Alright. He tried to hide his history as to where he originated from. So that he could fill the earth with lies. Alright. And corrupt the mind of people so that, in a sense, he wouldn't have that stain of his past or forever before his eyes. Alright? But now his hidden things, his mysteries, his secrets are being sought up, and the Lord revealing them. Alright? So that's when I'm pressing on the video.
I just want to show you guys some of the documents showing the white races of Europe. And we can get a better perspective as to who the Moors were fighting. These are the albinos and the beasts of Europe. And the Moors were fighting these people for hundreds of years prior to the so-called transatlantic slave trade. And one interesting thing I wanted to show you is that when you look at these beasts and albinos and how they have achieved what they've been able to achieve in just a few hundred years, keeping in mind that they were considered wild men just a few hundred years ago. And they had no last names. Many of them didn't even have first names. And I wanted to show you this because I found this very interesting. If you see here the wild men, and you look at the clothing that the people are wearing to the left, you can see here they're wearing this clothing to cover up their hairy bodies. So I found that very interesting. And something else I found in the British Library was one of the oldest genealogy charts, one of the first ones made for white people. And as you can see at the bottom of that genealogy chart, you see two wild men. So they're showing that their ancestry comes from the caveman. So that should give you something to think about, considering that just a few hundred years later, today, we have people like the Queen of England who claim to be of the royal bloodline of Egyptians and Cushites who ruled the earth. They even found the remains of a boy who was buried at Stonehenge in Europe. He was buried in Europe, but he actually came from the Mediterranean Sea in Africa. And he came to Europe 3,500 years ago. So that's in 1500 BC. So we're told that the Moors arrived in Europe in 700 AD. But here we have black people out of Africa coming to Europe over 2,000 years before the Moors arrived in 700 AD.
All right.
The problem. At the very same.
So, yeah. So it's showing you that. Guess what? In the in the Library of Europe, it shows that it have books documenting the history on Esau, showing the genealogy, showing that they originated from cavemen. I mean, they didn't start out like that because Esau, the first Edomite, which came from Jacob, he was a man. But then the Most High Power cursed on him, and then he descended to that low state. All right? And it began since in the book of Genesis. All right? This is Genesis chapter 1, verse 14. And Yahweh power said unto the serpent, because thou hast done this, thou art cursed above all cattle and above every beast of the field. Upon thy belly shalt thou go, and dust shalt thou eat all the days of thy life. All right, means they're gonna be low. All right, the Most High cast the so-called white man from since in the days of Adam. The Most High cast him low. All right, and it was fulfilled in the Edomites. This is the book of Job, chapter 30, verse 1. It says, "But now they that are younger than I have had me in derision," and goes back to when they were fighting against the Moors. They had them in derision. All right, they have us in derision now, because guess what? The scripture says dogs have come past me. So these dogs, these so-called Caucasians, these Edomites, they have come past us, all right, and be rulers over us. It's right. It says, "But now they that are younger than I have that I have me in derision, whose father I have disdained to set with the dogs of my flock." Yeah, because Esau loved to have sex with animals. So even Job didn't want to keep him with the animal, because really and truly within him, guess what? Deep down within him, the so-called white man is a beast. The scripture said every man will like his kind. All right, and that is why Esau loves so much animal, because really and truly deep down he's a beast. Yeah, where too might the strength of their hands profit me, in whom old age was perished. It says, "For want and famine they were solitary, fleeing into the wilderness, in former time desolate and waste." All right, cave dwellers, because that is who they are. That is why they always mountain climbing. Guess what? Because they love it reminiscent to their ancient life. They love the rocks. Who cut up mallows by the bushes and juniper roots for their meat. They were driven forth from among men. They cried after them as thief. They dwelt in the cliffs of the valley, in caves of the earth, and in the rocks. All right. So you so-called white people, guess what? You are the origin. Guess what? You are cavemen. That is the only truth you actually told. When you told it partially, when you said that all men originated from cavemen. You are the original caveman. That is who you are, a caveman, a beast. And you're going to return to that beast-like state when the Lord Yahweh Shemel Shai comes. All right? It says, "Among bushes they braid, and under the nettles they were gathered together," just like the lady said. Some of them didn't even have names. When they go into the book by Arthur Koestler, the 13th tribe, it says that some of you Edomites, you had languages like the croaking of frogs and gruntings. All right? You couldn't even speak. All right? You couldn't even speak. Even Nature Knows No Color Line spoke about you called them Northerners back then. You Edomites. All right? You are the worst of all the nations. You Edomites, you so-called whites. All right? You are the least of all people, the least regarded of the Most High. That is why the Lord Yahweh Hashem shall and destroy you Edomites. All right? It says, "Yea, they were the children of fools, yea, children of base men. They were viler than the earth." All right? And you Edomites, you viler than the earth. All right? Look at you.
To show you guys some of the documents showing the white races of Europe.
You're still beasts.
And
Imagine
we can get a better perspective as to who the Moors were fighting.
All right? You had the audacity to say that, Jake are 2/5 of a man, but guess what? You're not even considered a man. You are a beast. All right? You are a beast. You so-called whites. You are a beast. All right? Hence the reason when you come into power, what you try to do is try to wipe away all the history. All right? Hide away all the history. All right? And whitewash all dark images to acquire them for yourself. To hide who you really are. But guess what? You can't run from the truth. Because the scripture said, "How are the hidden things of Esau sought up?" And when you look at that in other translations, it says what? It says, New King James Version. It says, "Oh, how shall Esau be searched out? How his hidden treasures shall be sought after." All right? NASB, it says, "How Esau will be ransacked and his hidden treasures searched out." Part of your treasure is your mysteries, your secrets that you choose to hide. All right? And the Lord Yahweh Hashem Yahushai spreading light upon it. So your true identity, it coming out. Your true identity coming out. And this is the end of your kingdom. Alright? This is the end of your kingdom. You Edomite, you so-called white. This is the end of your kingdom. And you going into slavery. Just say to Yahweh Hashem Yahushai. And we know this is the last time. Alright? We are certain that this is the last time. This is 2 Thessalonians chapter 2, verse 3. It says, let no man deceive you by any means, for that day shall not come, except there be a falling away first. And we did fall away from serving the Most High, and from knowing who we are. And that man of sin be revealed, the son of perdition. And Esau being revealed right now. Esau being revealed for the dog that he is, for the devil that he is. Alright? All nations know of the treachery of the so-called white man. Now, we learn about the vile state that Esau once lived. Alright? The scripture said that you violate on the earth. Guess what? When you were living back in the Middle Ages, alright, in Europe, it says that age was the worst state that Europe was ever in. It was the most disgusting place to go to because of the stench of you people. You people, up until this day, Esau don't like to bathe. Alright? It says some of you wore undergarments until it dry rot on you Edomites. Having your animals living in the same house with you. And you still do that unto this day. You don't like to bathe. Even the Native Americans taught you hygiene. You violate on the earth. Alright? You fucking pushing this whole transgender movement. Alright? You violate on the earth. So you have no soul. You have, the scripture said the spirit within him is not upright. You are a beast. You are a beast. And the Most High, Yahweh Hashem Yahushai, is going to destroy you. Alright? So with that, hope it was edifying. I want to give all praises to Yahweh Hashem Yahushai, by Hashem Kodash. I give double honors to the apostles of great men so that rule well. Salutations to the men of the hope and sin say elect. This is Makazah saying Shalom.